podcast of Philly Sports. I'm Colin Dale here with Ben Goldstein, and we are a little bit questionable with the Phillies right now. By the way, we have not posted in a while, so it's also a Monday night. We're really trying to jam this into our schedules, so I
We have
apologize
had
if the
a
slur
lot
our
of
words stutter a little bit.
we have had a lot of scheduling problems, and we have had
A lot of technical difficulties too.
file problems because my
yes.
MacBook decides to delete the files. Anyway, we have a very special sponsor for this video, and that is SeatGeek. Shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this podcast. I recently became a brand ambassador with them. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. Let me open my SeatGeek app because I'm going to buy some Phillies tickets because the Phillies are hot right now. We're going to go to the Philadelphia Phillies page right here. You get this option. You scroll. I'm going to go to their next game on Tuesday night against the Padres.
Which I think when this is posted will have already happened.
Yes, it will. SeatGeek gives you a 0 to 10 score on each ticket to know if you're getting a good or a bad deal. So you see those green dots? Those are the good deals. If I were to zoom in here on the yellow, those are all right deals. You don't really want those. But the red, you do not want the red. I don't know who would put those prices up there. If you use our code, Philly Sports Reports, that's Philly Sports Reports, without the S, Philly Sports Report, it's on the screen. You can save $20 off your first purchase. There is a link to SeatGeek and my code in the description of the video. Go check that out. Go watch some Phils. And if you're not from the Philadelphia area and you want to go to some football games, football season's
concerts too. They got everything.
Not really close. The NBA Finals is coming up. We're right in the middle of the NHL playoffs, by the way. Incredible Game 7s. Every single game I was entertained by. That's why I love hockey, and that's why NHL Game 7s are better than the Super Bowl.
That's a big take.
It is a big take, but I stand by it. Anyway, concerts, hockey, football, basketball, baseball.
Any event that has fans, it's on SeatGeek.
Any event where you need to buy a ticket, go to SeatGeek.com/Philly Sports Report. Get your SeatGeek, get your tickets now. Again, Philly Sports Report, SeatGeek.com/Philly Sports Report. Link is in the description. Let's go on with the podcast.
Yeah, and there's been a little rumor going around the Philly Sports staff that if you use the SeatGeek code, Phillies have a higher probability of winning. So just keep that in mind when you're purchasing the tickets.
If we get 1,000 orders this year, the Phillies will win the World Series.
That seems like a stretch, but I'm down to take that as a bet.
We're not doing 1,000. We're doing 100.
All right, 100's fair. 100's fair.
I don't know.
Speaking of the World Series, is it time to worry about these Phillies? And
yes,
when we made this agenda, the Phillies had not beaten the 3-game series and Dodgers in 4-game series. But, okay, their record is still under 500. The offense has come alive. So I want to change this question that I have. Is time to worry will the momentum shift when they return home to Philadelphia? So since we last spoke, that was the end of the first Marlins series. So we've had a rough stretch against the Rockies. We sweep the Rockies in a 4-game series. We struggled with the Mets. We did all right in Milwaukee. And then we went out west and we played 7 excellent games of baseball. Something happened. I heard that Bryce Harper made a speech. If you check out, I think I wrote that article. It could have been Mr. Kenny Lutz there. But he made a speech in the locker room. And something seemed to click. But my thing is, I think the momentum will shift home. I mean, I see no reason why it wouldn't. Usually you're asking the question, will the momentum keep going on and go on the road? I just think that they happened to heat up when they were on an underway stretch. I don't think coming home will be a problem.
I think we're fine at home. The fans that are using Philly Sports Reports to buy their SeatGeek tickets. I think the momentum's coming our direction. We just played a great series against the Dodgers that has to have some boost. But as we know, when the Phillies get on a hot stretch, they always we
Mhm.
saw it last year in early August when we swept the Mets.
Right after, yep.
Right after
That
that,
weekend series.
downfall.
Exactly.
Something happened. It's happened every single year with the Phillies, and honestly, I don't see that changing. I hate to say it, but I think for now, I think we're
It
gonna be
has to
okay.
eventually.
Oh yeah, it has to. But
I just don't know when.
right now, we have this home stretch coming against the Padres, who are without Fernando Tatis Jr., and then the Dodgers, who are the same Dodgers that we just faced a week ago that are struggling that we handled well. I think we'll be okay for that. Up after that, what are we on the road? I have struggles on the road because I am traumatized by the Phillies on the road. Yeah, we're in Atlanta, so that's a tough stretch. I think after that, I think we play well this week. I'm going to go to Atlanta. I think the momentum starts to shift.
Yeah, and I want to say, so one of the ideas, and I never ended up getting this article finished, was how when Rhys Hoskins is hot, the Phillies are hot.
Ooh,
And I really wished I would have finished that article, because that article might be the truest thing on the internet if I ended up publishing that. And Ben could test this because I think I ran the idea by him, even before I wrote it. The Phillies, Rhys Hoskins, really since the first series of the year has been horrendous. He has gotten so ridiculously hot. His batting average went up like 40 points. The Phillies just swept arguably the best team in baseball. Or sorry, not swept. They took 3 or 4 from arguably the best team in baseball.
they swept in my mind. That last game doesn't count.
Last game unfortunately does count. Which that's not going to happen again. I hope not, at least soon.
Why? Knebel hasn't been great.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's gonna. I want to say it's not going to happen, but I know it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's not the first time.
What frustrates me the most is that there was 2 outs with no one on base. A guy, Cody Bellinger, sitting below 200. You walk Chris Taylor, and Gavin Lux was sitting at 217. Got the double.
I like to call him Gavin sucks. See what I did there?
Unfortunately, that kind of came back to bite us this weekend.
Yeah, no. To go with your Rhys Hoskins take, I tweeted on May 14th, so I guess that was Saturday. It's kind of wild how good as with Rhys Hoskins, when Bryce Harper's hot, so are the Phillies. It's the same thing. When he is hitting, the Phillies are hitting. 3 straight wins. This was from Saturday. 3 straight wins. Harper has highly contributed to all of them. During that wild run in the beginning of August, Bryce had an extra base hit in every single game. He had an extra base hit in every single game of those three straight wins earlier this week, and 4 straight wins actually turned into. He had extra base hit and a home run in basically every single one of those games. This team revolves around Harper, and that's why we paid him so much money for so many years. And I mean, that's what you want to see. Should the other guys step up? Yes, but
yeah,
I just feel like this team revolves around Bryce Harper.
The Phillies' offense didn't really click when he wasn't in the lineup. They scored 4 runs. They had the lead, but let's be honest. Those runs shouldn't have scored. That's the honest thing. So I don't know. And there's a whole other situation with the bullpen and where the signing is enough. And I don't think that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Joe Girardi knows what to do. He's never had a bullpen in his managing career that required him to think. It never required him to actually analyze who's the batter, what team are they facing, what are they trying to do, and what pitcher corresponds with that to make it not corresponds, but what pitcher can, try and minimize that. Right. It's the same thing with the lineup. He's never had to say, I don't have a leadoff hitter, or I've got 5 guys who can play shortstop and third base, and I can start or play 2 or 3 of them. He's never had to do that in his managing career. So I don't know. I mean, the bullpen thus far has not been bad, but there's just been some really disappointing things. I mean, Nick Nelson's been a bright spot. James Norwood has been inconsistent, but I'm going to get so much backlash for this. He has not been bad. He had one bad outing. And if he didn't have that bad outing, his ERA would be in the mid.
He's had a couple.
He's had a couple, but there haven't been. Everyone has a couple. I mean, Knable's had a couple. That's for sure. He's 0-3.
Well, yeah.
0-4,
Knable
0-3.
is 2 blown
I think
saves. Well,
he's 0-3 or 0-4. And of course, Knable has done some awesome things for us this year, but it is a little bit disappointing. I think Brad Hand has been excellent.
I've been a huge fan of Brad Hand. Even though he's Brad Hand, he's been pretty good this year.
Yeah, well, I think there's a difference. If you look at the box scores, he's been one of the best relievers in baseball and one of the best pitchers in the Phillies. But I think he has allowed a lot of inherited runs to score. And the easiest thing to do, which I'm not really sure why the Phillies haven't caught on with this, is he doesn't come in with a lot of runners. I mean, that just seems obvious to me, right? You find a different guy, Seranthony Dominguez, Andrew Bellotti, who's pitched excellent. Bellotti's been excellent so far. I don't like Jose Alvarado, so I don't want to put him in that situation. Ben, I don't know if you agree or disagree. I don't think that just because you throw hard means you're automatically a good pitcher. And I think the only thing that Alvarado has working for him is that he throws hard.
Yeah. I actually tagged Colin in this TikTok, I believe it was yesterday. Jose Alvarado is one of the most wild pitchers I've watched in my baseball watching life. I mean, the dude either throwing at 100 miles, either 80 miles an hour right down the middle, or he's throwing at 102 to the visitors' dugout.
Ineffective.
I mean, I would say 10% of his pitches reach the
not near the strike zone. They're not even close.
No. Even me, who's been calling 11-year-old baseball the last couple of weeks, I've actually made some decent money off of that. I actually bought myself Nick Castellanos jersey off that money. I just kind of I've seen 11-year-old pitchers pitch better than him. I'll just say that.
Oh. You must have some good 11-year-olds in your time.
These kids suck. There was this one kid. I mean, he was at least throwing 50 at 11 years old. And I mean, they were right down the chute. But against 11-year-olds, and it might have been 11 and 12-year-olds, thing was coming in with speed for a 10-year.
If I faced a 50-mile-per-hour fastball, I'm not sure if I could hit it, to be honest. I'm just saying that. I think I'd be so far out in front of the ball. I'd be so far out in front of the ball.
Well, that's because you're facing what, 70, 60?
60, 65 to 75, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we faced a kid 2 weekends ago. He was throwing 80. So,
yeah,
there's no way I could do
this kid on my baseball team. This kid on my baseball team who doesn't play for the tournament team in my area. He made it to the championship, and he was facing the Philadelphia Rebels or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
The Rebels, I don't know if that's their name, but they were in the championship, and they faced the best pitcher, who was throwing 85. I think they said he maxed out at 87, but he was consistently throwing 85. They got
I don't think I've seen 85 yet. Oh,
they got 2 hits in the game. Both of those scored runs, and both of those were just throwing the bat out. And
that's all you have to do, though. And that's the other thing for Alvarado. When Alvarado's in the mound, batters don't need to generate power. If their bat touches the ball, really anywhere at the barrel, around the barrel, it's going to be hit semi-hard. And the other thing is just throwing hard is not enough anymore in this day and age.
The kid's team pitched a no-hitter against the Rebels and won the championship. But
wow.
And if you don't know, the Philadelphia Rebels are probably the best team in Philadelphia. And this kid plays for this little organization in Bucks County.
Yeah. And that's why tournaments are so weird. I mean, the tournament we played in this weekend, not to get too off topic, but there was a national team. They were the Mid-Atlantic Ghosts, I think their name was, something along those lines. Every kid on their team was taller than me, every single one. They destroyed teams, but there was one team that they played and they thought they were going to beat them. So they pitched like one of their, they just didn't start their starters. They pitched one of their guys that wasn't a pitcher. And they were 1 run short of making it because they didn't care where they were seeded. They just wanted to make sure that they made it in the playoff bracket. And they must have done their math wrong. They were run short. And they didn't make it in. It was the craziest thing ever because they were without a doubt the best team in that tournament. And when I think of stuff like this, I always connect it back to Jose Alvarado because he's like a wild card. You never know what's going to happen when he comes in the game, and sometimes that can speak for the entire Phillies team. But I don't know.
You just gave me an idea. So keep going off about the bullpen, and I'm going to
the bullpen's stressful. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I think that there are some bright spots there. Seranthony Dominguez has pitched well. Hand, I think if he gets put in the right situation, will be one of the best pitchers in baseball out of the pen. And I think that Bellotti has not been bad. I mean, I was kind of surprised that he made I can't remember if he made the opening day roster. I think he did. But he's been a pleasant surprise. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah. All right, hold on. I'm trying to figure this out.
But yeah, I agree with what Ben said. I think the momentum is going up right now. And it doesn't have to stay up there, but they have to be at least a 2 out of 3. They've got to win at least 6 out of their 10 games if they want to get remotely close back into playoff contention. But I think that's the biggest thing for this team.
Where are we in these NL East right now?
So in the NL East, we are sitting in, I believe, second place. I'm gonna check that because I could very well be wrong.
Place. We are a game under 500, I believe.
We are definitely a game under 500. In the standings, we are going to be in second place, 5.5 games back of the New York Mets.
And the Mets just lost a series. The Mets just lost their first series of the season. Can you believe that? We're in the middle of May, and they just lost their first series.
Yeah. The Braves are a game behind us, and they're tied with the Marlins. Ooh, voice crack. They're tied with the Marlins. And I cannot believe that. The Marlins have been a bit of a surprise team. Nationals are garbage. They're trash. They're hot trash. But yeah, they're 12-25. Not really a threat to the Phillies or really any team at least. Nelson Cruz, I saw, got hurt today, so their momentum is going the opposite of the Phillies. I guess it's a good thing. But I guess only time will tell how this Phillies team and how this NL East standings.
And I'm not gonna start freaking out yet because when you look at it, it's May. When we're recording this, it's May 16th.
Right.
We're not even past game 40 yet. We got to relax a little bit. I mean, obviously things aren't going well. But this edit I just created.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, that's Twitter worthy. That's gotta get posted on your personal account. That's awesome.
I will do that.
He's a wild card. That's exactly what it is. But
anyway, we can't start freaking out. Obviously, we have to worry about the current state. But
yeah, the only frustrating thing in this instance right now is the Phillies see the Mets one more time. So I just saw I was looking at the schedule a few days ago, and I could be So they have the Mets at the end of this month. Because when we made up our schedule for writing, I had to go to the schedule. They see the Mets at the end of this month. They don't see them again until August. So the issue that I see is the Phillies kind of missed some of the opportunities against the Mets. And it makes me wonder, will they be able to not come back? Do they have enough? Do they have enough time left? Because the games against the Mets have full effect, right? The Phillies can win a game and they can move nowhere in the standings. when you're playing the Mets, you win a game, you automatically move up a game, right? Because the Mets would have to lose if the Phillies win if they're playing them. So
Did you hear what
I
the
hate the word
MLB is doing
time.
next year with the schedule?
Yeah, they're balancing it out between AL and NL more,
It's
right?
so dumb.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think people think they're gonna like it, and then we're gonna play one season of it, and everyone's gonna hate it. I was talking about this yesterday. I can't remember who it was. Might
The
have been actually one of
American,
my parents, but
the MLB and the MLB, or I said the MLB and the MLB, the NL and the AL used to never play each other until the World Series. They changed that a couple years ago to where you play one division, and I like that. I like playing one division. I like when we play the Red Sox once a year because it's the Boston Red Sox, the Philadelphia and Boston rivalry. I think we should play the Yankees more than we do. So I think playing the Red Sox and the Yankees are big. Like we should play them at least once or twice a year. And then we have our one AL division. Like this year, this is an AL West year. I like saying that. I like saying we're only playing this division this year. That's why we're only playing the Angels, the Rangers. By the way, we played the Rangers in Philadelphia for the first time ever the other day when we played them, which was kind of cool. The Mariners and the Astros. Like those are the only
yeah,
AL teams we play. Now with this new schedule, we're going to be playing the Yankees a bunch. We're going to play the Red Sox, but it takes away the division rivalry in the NL East. We're only going to play the NL East teams twice.
people are gonna hate it.
We're gonna we play NL East teams, I believe, 4 series a year. If not, I might be more, and I might be wrong about that, but it's like 4 or 6. That's going to be cut down to 2 or 3. And that's going to take away the rivalry.
I bet you it's more than 4 or 6 now.
It's
I
probably
think
more than
it's up to 8.
it might be 8.
I know
last year down to 4.
Last year, I'm pretty sure I remember 19 games about. So that's, let's say 18 with the 4-game series would be 6 3-game series. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's like 6 to 7. Yeah, I'd say 5 to 7. So yeah, I don't think people are going to like that. And the other thing is, I get your point. Yankees and Red Sox are big teams, but I don't think that's possible, right? I mean, every
19,
organization.
19 games each, so it's around like 9 or 8. So we'll
So
just
it's
put
a
it at 8.
yeah. So it's 5 3-game series and a 4-game series, approximately, maybe give or take a few on the series. But I don't think that that's possible. What you're saying with I mean, Yankees and Red Sox. Does everyone want to play the Yankees and Red Sox? And at
No,
that point, they've
but
been playing 215 games.
no, we just play them like one series.
I know, but I think everyone's going to want that. I don't know. And
Well, we're like
be,
near them. We're like near them. We're like in the 3 big cities in the East Coast.
yeah, that's true. Right, Bronx, Philly, Boston. All right, well, we got a new segment. We're running out of time here, so we're gonna get through this. This is called Pepper.
Oh no, I do want to quickly have a touch on something.
Okay.
I know you're not a fan of this because we're under 500. Well, the Phillies offense hasn't been that bad.
Oh no, their numbers are good.
The Phillies lead the MLB in slugging percentage with .435. This is by Sunday morning, by the way, with a .435 slugging percentage, an OPS of .753, and they are second in the MLB with RBIs with 160, and they are, I believe, in 3rd or 4th in the league in home runs. I don't know the exact number of that. Their offense is good, and I know that it took them a while to get going, but I think they're going. Obviously, the pitching is a problem, and our defense. I've been more than happy with our defense.
Is the pitching a problem though?
Yes.
I mean, Ranger Suarez has looked good. Ranger Suarez has done his job. Aaron Nola has been much better than we anticipated. Zach Eflin, not good. I'll say that flat out. I love Zach Eflin, one of my favorite players. Hasn't been good. Wheeler's figured it out.
His injuries still lingering. But the problem is our starters are fine. The bullpen is not good.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you though, if Joe Girardi is able to figure out, or someone, I don't really care who it is at this point, someone's able to figure out.
The Phillies came out with their auction, and one of the things is a meet and greet with Joe Girardi. So that'll be interesting for who wins that. And then they have another one as a dinner with John Middleton. So that'll also be very interesting.
I'm gonna have to take a bid on that.
The
I
current
would
bid is, I
love.
believe, $700. So if you
Never
have
mind. No.
$10,000,
Nope.
you win that bid.
All right. But no, I don't know. I think the bullpen will be a surprise if they figure out the roles they belong in. But
Yes.
speaking of that, I have some questions in our next segment, which is called Pepper. So what Pepper is you're gonna get a few seconds to answer 5.5 questions.
5.5.
Wait, what? 6.5 questions. Because there's one 2-part question. There's gonna be 3 opinions. I'm a liar. 4 opinions and 3 quiz questions. A little heads up for you. We've recorded this twice. If you had some technical difficulties the first time, the opinion questions are the same. Trivia questions are different.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay. I think there is.
All right, we got 3.5 minutes. Let's go.
I didn't write down the answers.
Boy.
But I'm pretty sure I know them.
Okay.
I think they're pretty easy. So here you go.
Okay.
Who's your favorite player on the 1980 Phillies?
My favorite player on the 1980 Phillies is Steve the Lefty Carlton.
Who will make a bigger all-time impact, Kyle Schwarber or Nick Castellanos?
Nick Castellanos, because he hits more, not as much for power. He just hits, and his contract is longer.
Where are we here? When Bob Carpenter took over the Phillies in the 1940s, what did he change the team name to?
Wasn't it like the Phillies Blue Jays?
Okay. Next question. Which pitcher accumulated for almost half of the Phillies' wins in 1972? Oh, come on, Ben.
It's not Carlton, is it?
You have to answer. I can't tell you. That would be cheating.
I'm going to go with Steve Carlton, but I don't think he was pitching in the 70s. I don't know if he pitched in 1970.
Who caught Terry Mulholland's no-hitter on August 15th, 1990? I'll give you a hint. This player's rookie year was 1986. I think I didn't write that down, but I could be wrong. It was in the 1986 area. All right. My favorite player on the 1980 Phillies was Tug McGraw. Big Tug McGraw fan, got the last out, and his son is a country singer. I'm a big country music fan. When Bob Carpenter took over the Phillies in the 1940s, I believe it was 44. I didn't write down the actual year, but I believe it was 44. He changed the name to the Blue Jays. You got it right.
Oh, let's go. Because I remember I have this thing in my room, and it's like all the Phillies uniforms.
Yeah.
And it has the Phillies Blue Jays, and I always don't get it. And I want a jersey with the Blue Jay on it.
Oh, I missed the last question. We'll get to that at the end, though. All right. Bigger all-time impact. I agree with Castellanos. Our two final trivia questions. Steve Carlton is the pitcher who accumulated the most wins, or half the wins in the 1972 season.
What was his rookie year?
I have no idea.
Okay.
And the catcher who caught Terry Mulholland's no-hitter on August 15th, 1990 was Dutch.
Let's go.
All right. So the question that I missed, worst Phillies game you've been to, most miserable game you've been to. I'll start, get you some time to think. Worst Phillies game I've ever watched had to be when they blew that 6-run lead. I mean, that was miserable. I was in such a horrible mood after it. And that just really deflated me for that whole series. The worst one I've been to, or the most miserable one I've been to, without a doubt, a few years ago, Phillies, the Marlins were in town. Lee and Chen was on the mound. I'm up in the 400 level with my baseball team, but it's like all the ages above and below me. So there's like 100 rowdy kids up in the 400 section. It was freezing cold, downpour, like the rain was crazy. It was a high-scoring game. It was actually just sloppy defense, weak bloop singles, tons of runs, and it was not really all that fun to watch because the pitchers were horrible. They brought in nobodies because the game didn't really matter. It was early in the season. Phillies already won the series, and I was just miserable through the whole thing. You're up.
The worst one I watched, I actually made a list. The worst games I've watched since like 2015. To my first Phillies game. The worst one I've watched on TV out of the couple I came up with was that Phillies when they blew that lead. I just remember just sitting there and just seeing all this unfold. It was not as bad as when the Sixers blew that 28-point lead or 26-point lead in the playoffs in 2021 to the Hawks, because that was I just sat there like this the whole time. That's how it kind of was with this game. But I made a list, and it all goes back to Max Scherzer's basically no hitting us with one eye. That was absolutely horrible. And then there's a lot of others. Getting no hit by the Mets was pretty bad. I don't remember all the others on top of my head, but I made a pretty long list. And then the worst game I ever attended. I've attended a lot of Phillies games, but and I've been to a lot of similar ones, but that have been bad where they've lost by a lot of runs. But the worst one I went to was this cold April game. It was against the Marlins in 2018. It was I got a sweatshirt, and that was the best part of it. It was absolutely freezing. It was in the 30s, and I didn't know it was going to be in the 30s. I thought it was going to be in the 50s. So I went there with like a jersey on and like a little long sleeve shirt under, some loose sweatpants, and I was absolutely freezing. Thank God I got that sweatshirt. But it was pretty bad, and they lost 10-1. That was the worst part of it. So
That sounds fun.
no, it wasn't. Although it was actually one, it was Mother's Day in 2019. It was a Sunday game, obviously Mother's Day, and it rained the entire game. At least we won. It was like a horrible game though, but we won, so that made up.
Yeah, and before we wrap up our episode, we do have a special announcement. This is not Pepper related. We are going to do a Q&A on our next episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to post out on the Bell Ringers pod page. They should be out when this video gets posted. Philly Sports page, my personal page, Ben's personal page. The YouTube comments are open. Instagram, you guys know the drill. Comment on anything, we get notifications. Questions you have, it can be about PSR. You got us, we got the Phillies, Eagles, actually not Eagles, but Phillies.
No, Phillies.
Phillies. Yeah, just Phillies.
No other sports. If you give us another sport, you're no.
Lost focus a little bit.
Yes.
But any questions, Phillies, MLB, anything really baseball, we will answer it. You can go minor leagues. It is an open court pretty much, as long as it's baseball, PSR, baseball writers, Phillies, us, doesn't matter. So make sure you look for those Q&A polls and hit us up because we will answer those in the next episode. And I think that's all we got for you guys today.
Remember, SeatGeek, link in the description. Thank you for sponsoring SeatGeek. Appreciate it. Buy some tickets. Phillies are hot. They're hot in the streets. The Sixers are over. It's Phillies now. Phillies time.
Yep.
Links in the description. Buy your tickets.
Yep. I think that's all we got for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the 7th edition of the Bell Runners podcast. And make sure you get your tickets from SeatGeek and you leave your questions in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
See ya.